He's pretty fired up there at the end. I got to tell you, I love that passion from him. They let one get away. It's frustrating to your fans. I get it. We do welcome Revolution calls. We won't dominate the show with it, but if you do want to react to it, you can. But that was a tough one to watch. 2-0 lead. 2-0 lead. This is simple. Don't lose a 2-0 lead. Inexcusable. Inexcusable. So if you want to react to that, the phone number here is 617-779-0985. Bruins, Swayman. Swayman's not there. Patriots-Jets. Those are pretty much the two things that we'll talk about for the rest of the show here as we're here until 11 o'clock tonight. We are back on YouTube, everybody. Can already see some people getting back in there already. But that's going to be the hit list. A lot of source wars going on in the area today. Source war. So we'll react to the current situation with Jeremy Swayman. And I have some betting odds regarding the Patriots and the Jets that I think are worth talking about. Normally at this time every night, we do Murray's Musings, but because of the interrupted show, we'll do sports for the next 90 minutes here. Or would that be less than 90 now? That would be 75 minutes. So feel free to load them up, everybody. 617-779-0985. Patriots, Bruins, all on the table. We're here until 11 o'clock tonight. I'm Joe Murray here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5.
All right, back here at 98.5 The Sports Hub. Just a little show update for this week. Obviously, we were interrupted tonight with the Revs, so we're going to go until 11 o'clock. And then there's no show tomorrow night because we have Patriots coverage beginning at 5:30 here on 98.5 The Sports Hub. So Felger and Maz will take you till 5:30. And then I believe Beetle and Gasper take over. Beetle doing the the night games this year, from what I understand. So I believe there's only one. he got off the hook on that one, Gas.
The night game, yes.
Yes. Well, there's still some TBDs at the end of the year. Chargers are one of them. I forget who the other one is. So yeah, you never know. Last year we had Christmas Eve. It was not cool. But yeah. So and then Friday night we'll have a full show here on 98.5 The Sports, and we'll be reacting to the Patriots and Jets, which is something I wanted to just get into real quick. There's some interesting betting lines. For those who, I don't like betting, let me just put it to you in terms of competition. The New York Jets are hardly ever favorites, meaning projected to win the game. Okay? The Jets, in general, in the month of September, are a terrible football team. The way they start their year is a way that you can dictate how their season's going to be. So since 2018, the Jets are 5-16 against the spread in September. So that means whatever number that they're either favored or underdogged with, they're not good. And since 2017, the Jets are 7-14 against the spread as a favorite. So in general, when the Jets are giving points to another team, they struggle. And there's another note here, and I got more on the Jets coming up in a bit, but the Patriots, in the spot when they are underdogs, it's now back-to-back weeks where they've covered. They won in week 1. They covered last week. If you got the 3.5 or a push, either way, they covered. In the Patriots' last 6 games as an underdog, they're 6-0 against the spread. So the Patriots, again, in this spot on a Thursday night football, are 6-point underdogs. It was 6.5. It's gone down a little bit. Some money's coming in on the Patriots. I think the Jets are better. I think they have better coaching going into this game. I think they have the quarterback that can go from a win to at home. Not to mention, it is the home opener for the Jets. There's a lot there. Remember last year, Aaron Rodgers? I think the toughest thing for the Patriots is, how does their coach adjust? He's never really done this before. The other thing is Jacoby Brissett. Is he fully healthy after taking some hits? And speaking of health, on defense, they're without 2 players. One of them is Juwan Bentley. The other is Jimenez, who is now on injured reserve. On the offensive side of the ball, they're going to play Michael Jordan now. He's going to start at left guard. And Caden Wallace will start at left tackle because Sidiso and Verdarian Lowe will not make the trip. The left side of the Patriots' offensive line is probably going to struggle. Now, I have high hopes for Caden Wallace personally. But that reason alone, the pass rush should be, and the Jets have not been rushing the passer very well. But those things, no Bentley on defense. Yeah, the whole left side of your offensive line here. Your quarterback just got crunched a bunch on a short week. Going up against a Jets team that's at home off a win. I just think it's a really bad spot. But overall, I think the Patriots have a shot. But the number indicates even odds makers think the Patriots don't have a real chance this week. Skaz, you got any takes on the old betting line here?
Yeah, just to kind of echo your point, Aaron Rodgers is 11-6 in his career on Thursday Night Football. He's 3-3 in his last 6, so about 500. Jacoby Brissett is 4-2 on Thursday Night Football in his career. So
Whoa!
Brissett's been all right. 4-2 is, for Thursday Night Football, it's pretty good. So, yeah, I mean, I'm kind of with you. The Bentley thing I think is huge. I am a fan of Raekwon McMillan. I think he's a good player, versatile, fast linebacker, but he just hasn't consistently stayed healthy. So you wonder who's going to really fill that role. I know you've said Tavai's going to have to step up, guys like that. Obviously, the Wallace storyline, the offensive line is probably the biggest concern going in. What do they look like banged up on a short week? So, yeah, I mean, for me, what I'm looking for tomorrow night is Gerard Mayo made it a point after the game and during his press conferences during the week to say, we need to push the ball down the field more. We need to be more aggressive offensively. Let's see it. I want to see them try and take some shots. Let's not get crazy. Let's not have Jacoby Brissett, making any Will Levis plays or anything like that out there, or Caleb Williams trying to, chuck it to a guy that's triple teamed. But this offense needs some explosiveness. They need some playmaking. So if you're going to tell us you're going to do it, I want to see him do it.
Oh, I got something on that, Skess, that I wanted to share. It's regarding Sauce Gardner. I got some numbers for you to start the year. Let's just say that if you want to attack someone, now might be the time. So we'll have more on the Patriots and the Jets. I got a prediction for you, too. Got a prediction. Patriots covered week 1. Pushed. I got to push week 2. So it hasn't been in my favor every week I've bet against the Patriots. So where do you think I'm going this week, everybody? We'll have to wait around and find out. But we got ourselves a Source War. Source War. Source War. Sources. Swayman. Everyone's got them. But the Bruins don't have their player. So everyone's got their sources, but the Bruins don't have their goalie. We'll start there as we get into the final hour of the show here. Again, the phone number, 617-779-0985. Skaz is here. Our intern, Joe, is here. We've put him to work. But it's a Source War. We'll do that next after the headlines here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
WBC-FM and HD Boston. Patriots! It's an all-new season for the Patriots.
Wow.
You'll hear it all right here.
Yes.
Your home of the past. 98.5 The Sports Hub. Beasley Media Group Station. Sports Hub headlines.
All right, well, the New England Revolution tonight, 2-2 with Montreal tonight, and they had a 2-0 lead. It's bad. It was bad. 2-0 lead against the FC Montreal. Red Sox played tonight. They won 2-1. Can you believe that? They got a dong by Trevor Story, and then Jarren Duran's RBI single in the top of the 8th inning was the difference. Tanner Houck got the start. 4 innings, 4 strikeouts. And Kenley Jansen got the save out of the bullpen. And Patriots and Jets play tomorrow night. No Vidarian Lowe, no City So. Mr. Jimenez placed on injured reserve. Headlines. They are brought to you by Safety Insurance, providing comprehensive coverage for your auto, home, and business. Ask your independent agent about safety. I'm Joe Murray. Your next update is in 30 minutes.
To us, Boston pride runs deep.
I'm a Bostonian!
This is Boston's home for sports.
Bow, bow, bow!
98.5 The Sports Hub.
And sometimes the wheel turns slower and you have to communicate and you have to step back and evaluate and listen to everybody, bark at you for doing things right or wrong. You have to put the earmuffs on at times. I laugh because my son loves the Spit Up on Yourself podcast. And I did that on purpose, Joe, you're right. Because I'll go back to the inaccuracies of what everybody's reporting. And, it's great entertainment. It's great entertainment. But at the end of the day, it's not a lot of fact-checking going on there. So that part of the business, you got to recognize. This city is awesome for that because they want their teams to win. You guys are covering it because you want them to win. Not hoping we lose, albeit it writes a story that way too. But at the end of the day, you're in it for the juice, to put the team together and try and win. And if it doesn't work, they're going to kick you out at some point in time. So I've said that before. The shelf life is there. Don't know when it is. Just going to work my ass off to put the best team we possibly can. That's why I sit here disappointed, in some regards, but excited in most of the others.
Back here at 98.5, the Sports Hub. You guys ready for Bruins season? Camp started today, and Jeremy Swayman not a part of it. Not a part of it. And the Bruins open training camp without Jeremy Swayman, who's not expected to be on the ice. Who knows till when? But there have been conflicting reports about the contract signing of one Swayman. Boston's general manager, Don Sweeney, met with the media today, as you heard, and that was his opening statement, was Jeremy Swayman will not be in attendance tomorrow on the ice. Also went on to say that he has chosen to wait, and rightfully so, until a contract settled. It's our intention to continue to negotiate a contract. I'm disappointed that when you set things as a priority in the general manager spot, you do your best to try and accomplish that. And I haven't been able to do that. So he's taken some accountability that they haven't signed him, which I believe. I think that is the truth. I think they should take some accountability for it. He goes on to say, but I will make everybody aware that some of the inconsistencies that have heard and have been reported are completely inaccurate. I think that being a representative of the Bruins and how we do business and try to keep things close to the vest and respect everybody's own privacy, I'll answer questions, but I'm not going to go into depth on the negotiations and in talks that they've had with players, because we're excited about the players that are here and we're going to move forward. As I said, I'm disappointed, but at the end of the day, I'm optimistic because I think we'll find a landing spot before December 1st. So when it comes to the December 1st deadline, all restricted free agents must sign a contract in order to be eligible to play this season. So if Swayman doesn't sign a contract by December 1st, he will not be able to play all season and will not get paid. So the sides obviously want to come to an agreement because of that. But, you know, my whole thing is this. Yesterday we worked. We were here yesterday and hearing all sorts of rumors. We knew that Don Sweeney was going to talk to the media, so maybe there would have been some at least some updates or good news. TSN's Darren Dreger said on Tuesday that positive vibes were coming out of Boston. There were reports this morning that the deal was done and could get announced as early as sometime Wednesday. It's only an hour and 54 minutes left in today. And Sweeney was asked about the report that the deal was done. Sweeney's comment said 100% inaccurate. And some guys I know have mentioned the deal has not been finalized and Swayman won't take the ice to start training camp. So we got ourselves a source war. I don't think anybody here has said that. I don't think anyone here has said that. Sweeney also took exception to the report a few weeks ago from Ryan Whitney of the Barstool Sports Spittin' Chicklets podcast, as you heard there. Coming back from break, Whitney said at the time the Bruins had not returned calls from Swayman's camp in 3 weeks. Sweeney said that there has been constant communication. He was not happy. He laughed. He said his son loves the Spit on Yourself podcast. Spittin' Chicklets. I'll go back to the inaccuracies of what everybody's reporting. It's great entertainment. But at the end of the day, there's not a lot of fact-checking going on there. He also goes on to say, I think it's BS that somebody says I wouldn't return a call for 3 weeks. And Sweeney added, he asked another follow-up later about saying how inaccurate it is. He doesn't listen to the podcast. He said his son loves it. Great entertainment, but at the end of the day, they're inaccurate. So where do the Bruins go from here, and where does Swayman go from here? I'll just give you a quote today from Sweeney. I'll continue to work every day. It's not unlike David Pastrnak or Charlie McAvoy and Brandon Carlo, referencing the other restricted free agents who entered training camp without contracts. So this isn't the first time it's happened. Again, Pastrnak, McAvoy, Carlo, these are just, now add Swayman to the list. Goes on to say it's a process that seemingly every year there's a few players, and this is the year that we have one. I have to continue to do my job. I have to respect the position that Jeremy and his camp has taken and continue to try and find common ground. I'm a little upset that they haven't been able to come together here. And I do like the fact that publicly Sweeney is at least saying it's in the player's right. He's not really calling out the player for what he's doing. He has absolutely every right to do it. I also feel that he has every right to do it because the Bruins treat this like a business. So now Swayman wants to look at this as a business. He even said it himself. If he takes a contract that's lower than market or a team-friendly deal, it hurts the next guy. I understand that 1,000%. And in a little bit of leverage for Swayman, I think he was their best player last year in the playoffs. I think David Pastrnak and the additions of Lindholm, Zadorov will really help out this year. But the fact that this is now the top story of the Bruins season, Skaz, just like it was when's David Pastrnak going to get his extension? Or, is this Bruce Cassidy's last year? Or is Jim Montgomery going to get fired? Or is this, and that? Every year it's something. I was thinking, when is Brad Marchand going to get an extension? Is Jim Montgomery going to get one? Nope. The best player on the team doesn't have a contract. And as the season starts, they're going to be working out a bunch of goalies that aren't Jeremy Swayman.
Yeah, and, from a fan's perspective and selfishly for us, contract talk doesn't do much for me, Joe. I don't know about you. I don't want to spend 4 hours every night debating on what number the Bruins are going to end up on with Jeremy Swayman. I'm excited to, watch and talk about actual hockey games soon instead of the contract discussions. But just another thing, too, that I've seen on Twitter today is Bruins fans saying Swayman is holding out, or even some media reports saying, Swayman is holding out. He's not holding out. He doesn't have a contract. There is a difference there. He's a restricted free agent. He doesn't have a contract. It's not that he's holding out. He doesn't have a contract. So, yeah, this is... it's frustrating from a fan's perspective. The season's starting. You want to be excited about Bruins hockey. They've done some exciting things in the offseason. You think they have a better roster. You think the team's going to hopefully go on a deeper run this year. They've tried to build themselves to compete more with the Floridas of the world. But all we're going to hear about heading into the season is the Swayman contract. That seems to be basically the only talking point right now is when will Swayman be done? What's the number going to be? And that's just... and if the Don Sweeney today is complaining about the reports around it, well, if you're that upset about the reports, sign the guy. There will be no reports when the contract is done. It'll just be the contract. So, yeah, just frustrating. Frustrating all around. I think Swayman's frustrated. It seems, by how testy Sweeney was today, it seems like he might be a little frustrated.
Very defensive.
Very defensive.
What do you think's going on with these sources here? I got an idea.
I like ideas.
I think people are talking to Swayman.
Well, we certainly have seen Swayman talking to people, so I wouldn't rule that out.
These are credible people, dude. I don't think people are just saying, oh, they're close and whatever because it's... I mean, are they... Yeah, maybe I'll only take that deal, but I won't show up until, a week before camp. There's something here. I mean, the guy showed up to captain's practice. He's taken the high road, really. He did discuss his contract publicly, which some players didn't like. Marchand, one of them. But it's not coming from Sweeney, it sounds like. That's all I can say.
Yeah, and on the what did he call it? Spit Up on Yourself podcast? On the spitting chicklets, guys. I know they're kind of divisive in the hockey world. Some people love them, some people not so much. But they have. I don't listen enough to them to know if they constantly throw out stuff, or if it's, vetted and sourced. I would imagine it's a podcast. You got to fill time. Stuff's getting thrown out, rumors, stuff like that. But they have been in on some big stories. The Mike Babcock thing, they were at the front of that. So, I mean, you have to think Paul Bissonnette, Biz, and Ryan Whitney are talking to guys. Like, it's not coming from nowhere. And I haven't seen anything from Whitney on Twitter, but Paul Bissonnette has tweeted multiple times about the Sweeney thing, and he said, hearing more information about the Swayman situation, and boy, oh boy, I can't wait for the next Spit and Chicklets podcast. We've requested to interview Sweeney, would love to clear the air. So, they're going to have a response. I'm sure we're going to be tuned into that. So, yeah, Joe, you're right. We got a good old-fashioned source war here.
Source war. Guys, I've learned something in the business in my 17 years of existence in this business. I don't roll with a source unless I got it from the horse's mouth. And I'm wondering, what I got from today is nothing's coming out from the Bruins. Sweeney seems pretty upset about it. Makes me think one other side, either the agent's talking or the player's talking. Like, maybe the player keeps... You know why, guys? It puts pressure on the team to get it done. Oh, now that could be December 1st. Oh, yeah, we're close. We're close. I think it's coming from Swayman personally.
Yeah, and you've seen in the past, not even in the NHL, just sports in general, teams will try and use this as leverage. You'll see the holdout word. You'll see... the team's always not going to show up for training camp. We have games coming soon, almost trying to swing the public perception, whereas they want the fans to be upset at Swayman and not them for not getting the deal done. So I wonder if we start to see a little bit of that, where reports start leaking out that Swayman has been difficult. We haven't really seen anything like that yet. More of the reports have been, pretty down the middle, that Swayman knows his worth. He's very aware of the market. We've mentioned the Mark Lewis podcast in the past, where Swayman basically said that he views it as like part of his responsibility to make sure he gets paid what he views he's worth for the Players Association and the guys that come after him. So, yeah, this is when these things start to get a little ugly. I know the Bruins have been sticklers with contracts, might be a little strong, but they play hardball at times. So, yeah, it's going to be who's going to blink first. And I think because of the Bruins roster, they have a good roster. And with Swayman, they're viewed as, a team that should absolutely make the playoffs and hopefully make a little noise. Swayman has some leverage right now.
Oh, the leverage. Right now, it's Jeremy Swayman. All right, we'll take a quick break. You want to get in on this, 617-779-0985. It's a big Patriots game tomorrow night, too. Got some numbers for you. We'll do that coming up next here on 98.5, The Sports Hub.
More Joe Murray coming up on The Sports Hub.
right, back here at 98.5 The Sports Hub. I'm Joe Murray. What's up to our YouTube chat? Revs do the OOO lineup, someone said. Some of the people are asking me about the Revs lineups tonight, guys. I don't know if I got that. But I see JP and NP in there. Stone, brokerage, babe. Ryan's in there. Our crew, just hanging out per use. Prince Humperdinck, one of my favorites. I need to take a break on the Bruin stuff for a minute. How much more can you say you want the goalie back? You want him back for the price? Or you come to a deal and let's just move on from it. Because I think he's worth the dough. 25 years old. And, now I'm starting to hear more chatter about, we even got a call earlier. I'm starting to hear more chatter about, let the young kids play. Who needs a goalie? Yeah, okay. Yeah, you're lucky they got as far as they did last year. As far as they went last year, it was because of Jeremy Swayman. I'm excited for the Patriots game tomorrow night. Patriots versus Jets. It's something that I think people have looked at for a long time when it comes to these two teams. The Patriots have gone on a big run. Big run. But a couple of things I wanted to bring up here. The coaching matchup. Let's talk about Robert Saleh for a minute. Really good defensive coordinator, has had his struggles. Really did not like Zach Wilson last year. Did what he could once Aaron Rodgers went down. His season basically ended when he went down. So here's a couple of numbers when it comes to Robert Saleh versus the New England Patriots. Saleh is 1-5 straight up versus the Patriots in his career. And when it comes to divisional opponents, he's 4-14 straight up. That's the AFC. He's 7-11 against the spread versus divisional opponents in his career. He is awful versus the AFC East. Of his 18 games versus divisional opponents, this will be his first as a favorite. And here's one for you too, Skaz. I think you'd appreciate this one. The Jets and Giants are combined 3-28 straight up playing at night in prime time since 2019. The Jets and the Giants. 3-28. That's 31 games. Playing prime time football. They're 6-point favorites tomorrow night. And when it comes to teams on Thursday night, home teams, Thursday night football, 37-52 against the spread since 2019. And 33-46 against the spread. Just not good numbers for the home team, divisional opponent, the favorite. While I've given you the Patriots 6-0, their last 6 as an underdog. So I'm not trying to throw all these betting numbers at you, but when it comes to these two teams, one is actually listed as 6 points better than the Patriots. The Jets really haven't done much. They won. They beat the Titans last week and gave up a ton of rushing yards. And it was Will Levis who turned the ball over. So why all this hype on the Jets? I get it. It's their home opener. They started out 2 games on the road. Now the Patriots, road game, home game, road game, divisional game, Mayo versus Saleh. I know Saleh probably gets the advantage, but come on, how big is that? Quarterback, it's probably Rodgers, okay? Yep, I'll give you the checkbox. Receivers, definitely the Jets. Running backs, wash? Maybe the Pats are better? Pats better? No?
I would take Breece Hall and Braylon Allen. I like Stevenson and Gibson, but I think Breece Hall is a more dynamic playmaker.
Okay, so give me an advantage for the Patriots.
Bryce Behringer's pretty good.
The punter has been great. He's actually been the best in the league. Do you know that? He's on an all-pro level little tour right now.
Christian Gonzalez, pretty good.
Brings up my next point. People like Christian Gonzalez. You know who else people like? Sauce Gardner. Listen to these numbers from last week. Sauce Gardner got roasted versus the Titans. 6 targets, 5 receptions given up, 97 yards, and a touchdown. This is all through Pro Football Focus. It's only the second time he's allowed 5 catches in a game in his career. That's a pretty good number right there, don't get me wrong. But is this now the time where you might want to challenge him? I see. If I'm Brissett, I don't go near him. It's like a bee's nest. You know, you don't want to play with the nest. But he was attacked last week, and there was success. I would say keep it simple and run the football. But Sauce Gardner, keep an eye on him. He hasn't been what many think he is. 617-779-0985. Got more Patriot stuff for you on the other side. Of course, the Jeremy Swayman stuff's on the table. We just had a Revs game. I let the Revs callers know if they want to call in, they can. Here's Riley in the car. Hi, Riley.
Joe, how are you? I just wanted to start off my call by saying, I appreciate and respect the hell out of you for taking Revs calls. There's not too many shows on this network that do that regularly, but you do, and I appreciate that. I just want to say I think the Revs are a joke from the top down. I think the ownership is pathetic. This team hasn't won a championship since its inception. The coaching is horrific. You have a first-year coach that, he's on the hot seat now. They're talking about maybe firing him. And you had a guy before this who was really, really good. And that's the sad part. But it's a catastrophic failure by the franchise.
What do they do? What do they do?
I really think it comes down to inept coaching. This is largely the same team that Bruce Arena inherited and had constructed. And I don't know. I think it is really just bad investment by the ownership and terrible coaching.
So you think Caleb Porter's not good?
I do not think he's good, and I think it was very much not a very involved process by the ownership. I think they view this as a very passive investment, and that's kind of how the Patriots are starting to look in a way if you want to compare it and to speak to the nature of the crafts. But I would like to see a more active owner come in who actually cares about this team.
Well, I can understand being upset about potentially spending money. My only thing is this. Wasn't Caleb Porter highly regarded? Didn't he win elsewhere?
He definitely, he was a college coach and won there. He did have a bit of success in Portland, but his last job before this was a failure. But I think there are definitely good coaches to be had out there. It's just a matter of how much the Crafts want to invest and how much of a process they really want to make it.
All right, man. Appreciate your education on that. I can see if you like a team and feel like there's an absentee owner. I can feel that. I just ask questions because, what are they going to do about it, guys? What are they going to do? Is Caleb Porter really that bad?
He's pretty bad, Joe.
Oh,
he's not great.
I only talk to him about food.
Yeah, maybe he's an expert on that.
He likes the Newton bars.
That's very boring, but not surprising in the least.
Yeah, that's the only thing I've ever spoken to him about.
Yeah, so like you said, he was in Portland and they were decent, and then he went to Columbus. They got worse, and he came to the Revs, and they got worse. He's had a worse winning percentage in every stop of his career. The Revs roster certainly isn't great. We're not going to do a ton of Revs talk, but it's just embarrassing. Soccer, I went to the Messi game. Place was jam-packed. People do care about soccer. You may not believe that or like it, but there are a lot of Revs fans out there, and it's just kind of a shame that they're thrown to the side. They've been, dragged along with the stadium for how many years now? Bruce Arena comes in. It seems like they care. It seems like they're going to invest. the Bruce Arena thing is almost as mysterious as the Ime Udoka situation. I don't know which one is we'll ever find out about first.
Yeah.
Probably neither.
And,
at this rate.
and Malcolm Butler.
Yeah, the big three of mysteries there. So yeah, it's just it's
there's an
frustrating.
article. Big three mysteries. What's the biggest one? It's still Butler. I don't care.
Yeah, 100% Butler. Tuca leaving the bubble, but I think we've kind of got some solution on that.
Yeah. That one's too personal.
Always be a Tuca defender.
That one's too personal. Too personal. But Bruce Arena, that's one. I mean, listen, I get we. How often do we do this? You're open. If you want to talk Revs, you can do that. I just ask, how do they fix it? So people think it's the coach. People think it's the coach, huh? I mean, blowing 2-0 leads might have something to do with the coach, right?
Not only did they blow a 2-0 lead, Joe, they blew a 2-0 lead at home to arguably the worst team in MLS. And guess what, Joe? There's some pretty bad teams in the MLS. So, yeah, not a banner night for the Revolution. And we had a very, very fired up Charlie Davies postgame.
He was very fired up. All right. Well, we have something we have to unveil to you that we did a production piece on. We had some time tonight to catch up on some articles. We'll tell you what those are. Let's get a look at the headlines. We'll tell you about everything tonight. And the final headline of the night, a final headline until Friday night. How about that, Skez? Well, I'll be doing post-game tomorrow. Whatever. We don't need to talk about that. All right, we'll get the final headline of the night here in the Sports Hub.
Sports Hub headlines.
The Reds had a 2-0. All right, back here 98.5 The Sports Hub. I'm Joe Murray. I got a prediction for you for the Pats-Jets coming up in a little bit. But Skaz has mentioned the Red Sox to me multiple times off the air.
It was once, I think, but
No, you just did again. You just mentioned the Sox in 2 again.
Oh yes, that was because when the Red Sox
That was twice.
Yeah, the pitch clock has made it so we can see every Red Sox game twice while we're here.
Well, Skaz, I think the Red Sox, when it comes to the wild card race, they're now 4 games out of the third and final wild card spot with 10 games remaining. The final postseason spot currently held by who? Minnesota.
The Minnesota Twins, Joe.
Boston trails Detroit and Seattle also. The Red Sox do have a chance to close the gap in the wild card race when they host the Twins for a 3-game series at Fenway this weekend. The Tigers and Mariners each have some tough matchups ahead too. Tigers take on Kansas City, and then also the Mariners take on Baltimore. So are you trying to tell me? Actually, the Mariners take on the Yankees and Astros, while the Tigers have both teams have tough matchups. So you mean to tell me that the Red Sox could win 2 out of 3 or sweep the Twins and still have a shot?
I think they're cooked, but
No,
yes.
me too.
They could sweep the Twins and maybe, possibly, somehow, some way, have a slim chance. But I don't have any faith in that happening.
Okay, I don't have faith either. I don't think they're good enough. They don't belong it. They don't deserve it. But do you know what they've done? All I asked for was, could they get us to next Sunday? Can they get us there? And right now, Skaz, I think they can. I mean, is it impressive that they're in the hunt at the end of the year?
Not impressive at all.
No, it's not.
Because of how the season has gone.
But you know how people love to talk about the path?
The path.
Path is real here. They got themselves a path. Speaking of paths, does Adam Vinatieri have a path to the Hall of Fame?
What a segue.
I love the Hall of Fame talk. Listen,
Vinatieri's got to be a Hall of Famer.
he better be a first ballot.
He has to be.
He won 3 Super Bowls on his leg. He helped the Colts win one. He's got 4.
He's got 4, yeah.
He actually, I'm sure everyone knows the story here, but he was getting franchise tagged every year, which in his defense, he's getting the most money in the league, but he's not getting any upfront money. He wanted a long-term deal. They screwed with him year after year, and he said, you know what? I'm going to go play indoors and go play with Peyton Manning, and it was the right decision. It was the right decision. Now, could it have cost the Patriots their undefeated season? Because Gostkowski certainly missed kicks. They didn't believe in him. They went for it on a 4th down once. I just feel like that move, Vinatieri did more with the Colts than he did with the Patriots, yet won 3 Super Bowls with the Pats. I think he should be a first ballot. A couple other big names on this one, though. I believe Eli Manning was one of them. Terrell Suggs. That's a big one. So I think this is the question. Will they actually consider a kicker first ballot? Will there be any Patriots bias? Right? I feel that sometimes there are Patriots bias. But as far as the players that probably, in my opinion, from this list, I think Eli Manning should be on there. I think Reggie Wayne probably should. And
no, I'm out on that.
Okay.
Reggie Wayne was never a top 5 receiver in the league.
But the team. It was the team. What about Torrey Holt then?
I think Torrey Holt was better than Reggie Wayne.
Okay. Both of them won the same amount. I'd actually have to put them. All right, let's take the skill guys out because I kind of take Steve Smith out of there too. If that's what we're going to do to Holt and Wayne, I got to take Steve Smith out.
I'd have Steve Smith over both of those guys, but I understand your point.
So then I would have Welker in there too, but that's a story for another day.
My first thoughts on this list is Eli's in, Joe Staley should be in, Luke Kuechly should be in, Adam Vinatieri should be in, and Terrell Suggs was a really good player, but I don't want to put him in the Hall of Fame.
I think first ballot, guys, how do you not put Vinatieri in?
He has the most points in the history of the National Football League by over 100 points. I think like Morton Anderson is in second place. He's also the only guy ever to have over 900 points with 2 different teams. So 4 Super Bowls, leading point getter in the history of your league. He's a first ballot Hall of Famer.
I think Eli is too. Won 2 Super Bowls against the Patriots. I mean, look at the Giants now that he's been gone. Not the the stats probably don't jump out to you, but just to give you some of the names: Eli Manning, Marshawn Lynch, Steve Smith, Reggie Wayne, Torrey Holt, Wes Welker. Antonio Gates will be interesting. He put up huge numbers, didn't win anything.
I don't think the NFL is a Hall of Fame where you have to win anything to get in.
You're right. What about Logan Mankins?
No shot.
Really?
I don't think he's a Hall of Famer.
I really do consider him like Joe Tooney a lot. Like that kind of player.
He's a very solid, above average NFL player. Yeah, I wouldn't put him in the Hall of Fame.
How many did he win, Mankins?
I thought none, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, because he was there during those years. Jared Allen, hell of a defensive end. Vince Wilfork, will they put in a nose guard? I don't know.
No Super Bowls for Mankins. He was a first-team All-Pro one time.
Wow. And Welker had none either. Man. Vinatieri, though. In like Flynn.
Welker was a 2-time first-team All-Pro.
And look at all the wide receivers here. I've already written an article about this. I'll repost it if I have to. But for the people who think Julian Edelman's a Hall of Famer, Wes Welker did more in his 4 years in New England than Edelman did in this whole career. Now, if you look up playoff stats, Edelman was better. But I think Welker was, when you talk about best at his position, was the best slot receiver in the history of the game. And he should be in for that. Matt's in Warwick. Hey, Matt.
Eli Manning doesn't have a winning record, and he led the league multiple times, I believe, in interceptions.
How many
or
rings?
Turnovers.
How many rings?
Yeah, 2, but on a really good defense.
Hey, Matt. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
I don't know, man. How do you make the NFL Hall of Fame with you don't have a winning record?
I mean, Cy Young had the most losses in baseball history. What can I tell you? Brett Favre had the most interceptions, right? I mean, it happens.
Yeah. I don't know, man. Maybe I'm just biased because I'm butthurt, but
hater. Listen, guys, Eli Manning is a Hall of Famer. Whether you like it or not, he's going. Put it on the board. Forget about it. Where's our guy? Go forget about it. Like, it's done.
I went up to my room. I said, oh.
Yeah, like, it's donezo. And like Flynn. Got your Patriots-Jets prediction coming up next here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
You're listening to Joe Murray on 98.5.
quick. Smelly.
It's Joe Murray on the Sports Hub.
Back here at 98.5 The Sports Hub. That's the production work we did tonight. It's perfect. So perfect, Skaz. All right, let's break it down. Patriots versus Jets, Thursday night football. Jets have struggled against the run. They gave up 180 yards to the 49ers in a 32-19 loss. They gave up 130 yards to the Titans in a 24-17 win. They've scored 49 points in 2 games. Can the Patriots score more than 18 that they average? The defense had 3 sacks, the Jets defense. 3 sacks versus the 49ers, 2 sacks versus the Titans. I think the Patriots have a chance, but here's a couple of reasons why. The Jets defense in week 1 and 2 struggled. They could not stop the run. They could not generate pressure on the quarterback, and they really struggled to even hit wide receivers on offense. Their offense in week 1 and 2 had a lot of struggles. Wide receivers couldn't get open. Rodgers was under pressure, and the Jets had to revisit that quick game and that passing attack. Their running backs are very good. Breece Hall, Braylon Allen, very good. In all, versus the Titans, Hall had 21 touches for 114 yards and a touchdown. Allen had 9 for 56 and a TD. With no Juwan Bentley, that could be a huge challenge. Now, on the other end, the Patriots have held their opponent under 100 yards rushing in each of the first 2 games of the season. 70 versus Cincinnati, 46 versus Seattle. And I just feel like that's something that they can continue to try to do, but also run the football on them. The Patriots had a 170-yard rushing performance versus Cincinnati and 185 versus Seattle. Can they do that again against this Jets defense on a short week? Forget about finding Pop Douglas. Forget about trying to throw the ball downfield. Don't turn the ball over. Run the football. And I'm telling you right now, Aaron Rodgers has not thrown for over 300 yards since 2021. I still get the Jets covering, winning by a touchdown or more despite all the trends. But the Pats can hang around. All right, that's it. Skaz, great job tonight. Intern Joe, excellent as well. I'm Joe Murray. No show tomorrow night, but I'll be with you post-game, immediately after the game, here on 98.5 The Sports Hub.
WBZ-FM.